The biblical account of the fall of Jericho, described in the book of Joshua, is one of the most famous stories of ancient history. The walls of Jericho fell after the Israelites marched around the city for 7 days, blowing trumpets and shouting on the seventh day. This miraculous event has sparked centuries of debate and curiosity, particularly from those wondering if there could be a scientific explanation behind such a sudden collapse. While the story is steeped in religious and cultural significance, let's explore a few scientific hypotheses that might explain the event. One of the most widely considered scientific explanations for the fall of Jericho's walls involves seismic activity. Jericho is located in the Jordan Valley, a region that is part of the Great Rift Valley system, a tectonically active area. Earthquakes were and still are common in this region. Could it be possible that a natural earthquake caused the walls to collapse at the exact moment that the Israelites shouted and blew their trumpets? Several factors support this theory. Jericho is situated near a fault line. The Great Rift Valley, which extends from northern Syria to Mozambique, passes through the area near Jericho, making it prone to earthquakes. Historical records show that earthquakes have affected this region for thousands of years. The coincidence of the earthquake occurring precisely when the Israelites were carrying out their ritual would seem miraculous to the observers. If an earthquake had already weakened the walls over time, the vibrations from the trumpets and the shouts of thousands of people might have provided the final push that caused them to crumble. Some excavations at the site of ancient Jericho have revealed signs of earthquake damage. Archaeologists have uncovered collapsed mud brick walls and found that parts of the city were violently destroyed. Although it's difficult to link these findings directly to the biblical history, they offer tantalizing clues about how the walls may have fallen. Another possibility is that Jericho's walls may have had inherent structural weaknesses. Ancient construction techniques, especially in a fortified city like Jericho, were impressive for their time, but not infallible. The walls of Jericho were made of mud brick, a common building material in the ancient Near East. While mud brick was strong and durable under normal conditions, it had limitations. If the bricks became wet from heavy rains or groundwater, they would weaken, making the walls more susceptible to collapse. Large, tall walls, like those of Jericho, would need a solid foundation to stand the test of time. If the foundation wasn't built on stable ground, or if the walls were too tall for the strength of the materials used, they could collapse under relatively minor stress. A sudden vibration, like the rhythmic marching of thousands of people, or the cumulative vibrations from the trumpets and shouts, might have been enough to destabilize the walls, especially if they had already weakened. One of the most intriguing scientific possibilities involves the power of sound waves. Could the combined sound of the Israelites shouting and the trumpets blowing have created acoustic vibrations strong enough to bring down the walls? This theory is rooted in the science of resonance, the phenomenon where an object vibrates in response to certain frequencies of sound. Modern science has shown that sound waves can affect physical objects. For example, in extreme cases, powerful sound waves at certain frequencies can shatter glass or other fragile structures. If the walls of Jericho were already structurally weak, it's conceivable that the intense sound from the Israelites' unified shout and the trumpet blasts could have added just enough vibrational force to destabilize the walls. In theory, if the sound waves produced by the trumpets and the voices of the Israelites matched the natural frequency of the walls, a process known as sympathetic resonance, it could have amplified the effect, much like how a singer can shatter a glass by hitting a precise note. While this theory is speculative, the idea of resonance is a powerful one in science, and it's fascinating to think that such an event could have been triggered by the human voice and instruments, particularly in a weakened structure. From a scientific perspective, the fall of Jericho's walls may be explained by a combination of natural events: an earthquake, structural weaknesses, and acoustic vibrations. However, the remarkable timing of these events, in direct response to the Israelites' ritual, leaves room for deeper reflection. For people of faith, The wall's collapse is seen as divine intervention, a miracle orchestrated by God to demonstrate his power and support for the Israelites. Even if natural forces were at play, the precise timing occurring exactly when Joshua's army shouted after 7 days of marching suggests a purposeful alignment of events. This combination of scientific possibilities and divine timing makes the fall of Jericho a story where faith and science intersect in a compelling way. The fall of Jericho's walls, whether explained by an earthquake, structural weaknesses, sound waves, or divine intervention, remains a fascinating topic for exploration. While science offers plausible explanations for how the walls might have collapsed, the deeper mystery of the story lies in the timing and the circumstances. For believers, the event is a powerful testimony of faith and obedience. For scientists, it offers a puzzle that continues to intrigue researchers, engineers, and historians. Whether through the forces of nature or supernatural intervention, the fall of Jericho remains one of the most captivating stories of human history, blending the realms of faith, science, and mystery.